Let's help the world hire better people faster. Sure, that's a bold statement, right? Helping the world hire better people faster? Well, that's exactly what we set out to do when we started our company, Wamly. Welcome to Solving the People Puzzle, the HR Thought Leadership podcast hosted by myself, Francois de Wet. It was 2018. I'm an industrial psychologist looking at the world of hiring, looking at how organizations go about filling vacancies, and considering the hiring landscapes, considering how organizations go about filling a vacancy, I identified a gap. There is a problem in the way organizations are interviewing candidates. So let me double click on that. What does that mean? Well, have you ever sat in an interview where within the first 5 minutes you realized that the candidate sitting in front of you does not look like their CV? Newsflash, people don't look like their CV. And so I invite Francois for an interview. I scheduled 45 minutes of my precious time in my diary. And then within the first 5 minutes, I go, this is going to be a long, awkward session. Well, that is the world of asynchronous or one-way video interview. Your ability to have a candidate record themselves and then in your own convenient time, log in, review the answers, and then give your scores, your comments, and decide who you actually want to progress and spend your valuable time with. And that is what we set out in 2018 when I decided to start Wamly. 2020, Marnus Broodryk joined me, a famous entrepreneur, a shark on Shark Tank South Africa, and together we launched and redid Wamly, and we took Wamly to market. Now, for those of you who get goosebumps, 2020 was COVID. It was that dreadful pandemic that we all went through. And often when you read books around entrepreneurship and success stories, somewhere you'll hear the word timing and luck. And absolutely, our timing was great. Launching a proudly South African video interview product in COVID for clients who still had to go through hiring, who still had to do interviews, was the perfect solution. But Wamly was never designed to be a COVID solution, a pandemic solution. We genuinely set out to help the world hire better people faster. So much so that at the end of the first year, Knife Capital, a VC in South Africa, decided to back Wamly and invest in our vision, invest in our dream, and help us accelerate the growth of our business. We reached multiple countries. We started hiring more people, hiring internal departments, internal dev team, internal account managers, more salespeople, more operations people, because we wanted to build out this business and really bring value to you, our incredible community, and our clients. Together with our vision of building this beautiful product, I also realized that the South African HR community needed a highly relational group of individual, like-minded people that can come together and that can find a place where they felt valued, loved, and where their voice mattered. And so together with our Wamly technology, we launched various initiatives like this podcast, an in-person event, private dinners, an HR roundtable to bring together the South African HR community and create this incredible inclusive community where we can learn from each other, share with each other, be vulnerable with each other, and gather feedback back to building out our product. Which brings me to 2023, a pivotal moment in the Wamly journey where we decided that yes, we still want to help the world hire better people faster, but with one-way video interview, we are increasing speed. But I personally wasn't yet convinced that we are increasing quality. And so that set us out to think differently around where Wamly is going, where our product is going. And based off your feedback and our own internal thinking, we decided to create and build out an end-to-end solution. And that's where Wamly, 18 months ago in 2024, in the beginning of 2024, made a pivotal decision. A pivotal decision to introduce more elements in the Wamly journey. And there were 3 predominant reasons to do this. The first one being clients are bouncing between systems. Large corporate clients are in their ATS, they're in their LinkedIn, they're in their PNet, then they're over to the applicant tracking software, then they're in Wamly, then they're in the background check solution, then they're in their assessment provider solution, and poor HR departments are logging into 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 12 systems on a weekly basis, trying to navigate this hiring process. The second problem was data. Data being everywhere. And from a reporting perspective, having to download all these different data points and collating that into a consolidated report that makes sense for the CHRO or the business leaders in the organization that need to report on time to hire, that need to report on quality, that need to report on source, that need to report on where am I finding my candidates, what candidates are eventually performing better in my organization. All of those strategic decisions and answers that I know you need to report on becomes very difficult if your data is everywhere. But lastly, and probably the most important reason, is the candidate's experience. I know that candidates are your most valuable asset. Candidates are consumers. Candidates have a choice, and candidates do not want to go through this long, boring hiring process where, one, they don't get feedback. Two, they need to resubmit their information over and over again. They need to log into multiple platforms over and over again. And so for those three reasons, we decided to build this end-to-end platform, this entire hiring solution that allows you to attract, screen, interview, assess, and check all your candidates in one place, having all your data on one screen, enabling this end-to-end experience so that all your data can be reported on in one place, and that we can help you with analytics and insights to answer these burning questions around time to hire, the quality of your candidates, who's performing how and where in your HR department, where's the inefficiencies, where are the blockages, and how you can then improve all of that. And so we set out on this journey. End of last year, we were so privileged to find two phenomenal clients that have been backing Wamly for a long time, two prominent logos in South Africa, and they said, Wamly, we will go on this journey with you. Let's do it. And so slowly but surely, we started building out the platform. We introduced application questionnaires so that you're able to screen and gather information on minimum criteria such as knowledge, qualifications, skills, and experience. Then we added document uploads, so candidates can now in their Wamly journey submit their CV, submit their driver's license, submit their qualification, and whatever documents you are asking them to upload. From there, they're able to conduct a skills test, which is a test that we use, that you can use in the Wamly platform to test for knowledge and to test for experience. That real understanding of, yes, my CV says I can work in Excel, but can I really? I say I have experience facilitating job analysis or whatever else that is required in the job, but then in the skills test, you're able to test for that. And then Wamly can score the candidates and give you an actual pass or fail rate on the skills test. Then we still, at our core, have the beautiful video interview where candidates can answer questions that you set up, experience questions, background questions, competency-based questions, questions around your culture and your values, and then hear Francois' answers on these questions, and then bring your panel in to listen to these answers and then comment and score on the questions. And then we are so proud that at the end of 2024, we launched psychometric assessments and background checks. So from your Wamly platform, you're able to launch assessments on personality, cognitive ability, learning agility, team roles, what motivates the candidate in the workplace, and then have that data seamlessly pushed back into your Wamly platform, generating a talent match score or a job fit score or a person job match score, showing you job fit based on your competency profile, all on one screen. And then after your face-to-face interview, once you're ready to hire Francois, you are able to send Francois from the Wamly platform for background checks. ID, drivers, qualification, criminal, credit, and whatever checks that you deploy in your business straight from the Wamly system. And again, the data seamlessly returns back in, completing what we call a full digital profile of the candidate, where you've got all the information on one screen to make your hiring decision. This is Fran from the future, and thank you so much for listening to that episode. Since we recorded that episode, we listened to your feedback, and I'm so excited to announce that we've launched the Wamly career page section in your Wamly platform. The career page section allows you to go and set up your custom career page that is hosted on your website, where all your Wamly projects seamlessly and automatically flow into this page so that you can display your EVP, display your brand to your candidates that you are attracting to your career page, so that they can then automatically go into the Wamly platform once applying for your jobs. Thank you so much for continuously providing us with feedback. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us. I cannot wait to bring you more updates from the Wamly system very soon. Thanks so much for listening to Solving the People Puzzle. If you enjoyed today's episode, can you please go and like, subscribe, and even leave us a 5-star rating? If you have any questions around how to create the ultimate end-to-end hiring solution, head over to wamly.io so that we can help you hire better people faster. Catch you next time.